Om Shanti, and welcome to Soul to Soul. My name's Rose. I'm from Brahma Kumaris Meditation Centre in Glasgow, Inner Space. And tonight we're going to talk about how to make your spiritual budget. Okay, so we'll just have a minute before we start. So again, Om Shanti, and we start with the consciousness that we're spiritual beings, souls, energy. And the things that belong to us are our words, our actions, and first of all, the seed, our thoughts. So the most important of these three are our thoughts, because it's our thoughts that create our words, and our words that create our actions. So we're looking at how to invest a little time in meditation, and then the payback is positive and huge. And it's talking about being a sort of wise person, a sensible person who understands the value of doing this, and to keep your thoughts smart and clever, and make an investment in your thinking, with your thinking. It costs you nothing to do that. People out there, they make investments and then they might lose that investment, and it might cost them a lot of money. This doesn't cost you anything. The way you think is the only cost that you get is the result of your thinking. If you have a lot of dark and heavy thoughts, then you'll get the result of that. That'll be the price you pay. If we learn to really think about how we think, to check how we think, and think about it during a quiet time, which we'll create for ourselves, and have an investment and get a return of millions. Because the power of our thinking is enormous. Because it's our thinking that has created our lives up until now. So any sadnesses and darknesses that we've come across during that journey has been from our own power of thoughts. We would like to say it was this, that, and someone else. But usually it's been an interaction with something or some situation or some person, and we get the result. And we didn't know any different. And we can't, or we couldn't at that point, go along just cruising on light thoughts, because we didn't know too much about the power of thinking. But any happiness that came also was through our power of thoughts. And I have the very definite understanding that everyone and anyone who wants to listen to a talk on meditation or positive thinking has had many very good thoughts and has a lot of good thinking within themselves, or they wouldn't be joining us here. And so we're saying that when I start to think of this power of thought, this power of thoughts, this is enormous. And I don't want to waste a single thought. I want to start to be very careful with the way I think. And it's why do we need so much encouragement to create some area where we can simply stop, be quiet and turn within? Is it difficult to understand and see the connection between my thoughts and the results that I see? I can see the results in my life. We know when we've been nice to someone or kind to someone. Something really lovely comes from that. Something beautiful can come from good thoughts and actions that I perform. We can also see when I'm angry and I dislike someone, it's not difficult to see what came from that one. It would be not very pleasant, but it would be done and dusted and not a lot we could do. And it can actually take a long time to repair any damage that was accrued. And so everyone wants to feel wealthy and secure. And to feel wealthy, which means wise and sensible when it comes to spirituality, it starts with high quality thinking. So it's rather nice to think that we can be high quality thinkers, that I can think in a way that's elevated, that's beneficial for myself and everyone around me, because we start to catch ourselves and stop ourselves from going down into a heavier mode, and we don't allow ourselves much of the time. And the more we practice, the less we allow ourselves to go down into the heavier style of thinking. So if we were to play the game of virtues, and we all know this, we know the fact that virtues are very, very powerful energies. Even to think of the word abundance. Many New Age souls are telling us now to think of abundance and to think in the way of thinking of plenty rather than having nothing. And they say that it will come to you. So I think that what happens is if we can think in a way that's abundant, we don't want to be miserly in any way with anyone. We all want to think we're benevolent, kindly, sort of, don't be too harsh there. We want to think we have courage. We also know the value of having determination and enthusiasm, forgiveness, honesty, maturity. It goes on and on. There are so many of those virtuous qualities. Now think of the power that's in even one of those virtuous qualities. if I can absolutely fill my thoughts with as many of these in a day, then the energy I'm creating for myself will be so pleasant, first of all for me, and extremely pleasant for anyone that's in my company. I can become wise and a very sincere person, and I will teach myself to follow those virtues and be respectful, because we will know from our life's journey what it's like to be disrespected, and we'll also know what it's like to be in connection with people who are most insincere and don't do what they say they were going to do. And we know the feeling, and so we think, I don't want to cause that feeling for anyone. We also have, nowadays we're taught about recycling, and so it's like, yeah, we've got habits of the heavier energies, but I can turn the stuff that's not so good into that which is very good, the waste into the best. And I can teach myself to budget my thought power, my word power, and my power of actions. But the other thing is how I use my time. Time comes into it because I want to have time to think. I need the time to think. Otherwise, my thoughts will just keep pouring in and out, good ones, bad ones, weak ones, strong ones, helpful ones, not so useful ones. And then if I was to look at the end of the day, I'd think, oh my goodness, I didn't do very well today. Our thoughts are our treasure, and they're our natural energy. And we are good. And actually we love to be good. And actually we love people who are good, because we feel safe. And I think in today's world we so much want to feel safe. And we want to feel connected, and we want to feel we resonate. And we want to feel that we can trust. And being sensible, it's not that you can trust the whole world, because unless people are looking at their thoughts are everywhere. But you must learn to trust yourself, and this will help others to trust you, which in turn will encourage them to trust themselves. So the power of thought is amazing. And you'll find your words changing. You'll say words. So my word power and my power of action is also such an amazing thing. And part of my purpose in life is to give peace, love, and kindness. So to be a wise business person, I need to think about, do I want to invest and get millions in return? So it's millions of lovely feelings rather than millions of feelings of regret. Millions of love, lovely feelings. That, oh gosh, I feel happy today, I feel happy. You know, whenever I think of peace, love and kindness, I have a feeling of well-being inside. And that feeling grows and grows. That's just 3 words. So that's just 3 thoughts. So you think of the thousands and thousands of thoughts we are capable of. 3 thoughts, peace, love and kindness, can start to give me happiness. Now, if I keep an eye to all the things that I think, it definitely can bring me multi-millions in return. So it's just to be using my time in a worthwhile way, which is to make spaces where I can be still and silent and watch who I am inside, get to know myself. We're always wanting to get to know someone or other, but to get to know myself is the most valuable thing. The most valuable person I can get to know to begin with is myself. And so when I get to know myself, I'll start to look at my time. I want to make time, even just a small amount of time, over and over again. And is it difficult? I've said that already, to understand and see the connection between my thoughts and the results in my life. That helps me to feel safe and secure and okay about myself. But also, it gives me an aim and objective to watch the darker stuff that makes me feel not so good. We don't like the darker stuff. The worry. Why should I be worrying? Why should I be so worried? It doesn't mean to be silly, selfish, or not seeing that which you're responsible for. None of that. But it just means I don't go down into that heaviness. But I look in a very sensible way and do what I need to do. So I need to look at my thoughts and take care of the way I think. So I think I have some questions here at the moment.
One question was about respect. You said about learning to have respect. And everybody wants respect, and obviously we want self-respect. But also a lot of people talk about respect has to be earned. So I was wondering if you could say something about that, like, are there kind of different kinds of respect? Is there just a blanket respect on some level where it doesn't matter what I'm thinking, saying or doing, or what others are thinking, saying or doing, I can still have some level of respect? Or is it always something that there's a different technique?
Respect is connected with value. When I start to value myself, then I'm starting to respect myself. When I value myself, starting to even, you still have not got it absolutely 100% maybe, but I'm beginning to see a bit something there. And then when I start to see this in myself, I can start to respect others wherever they're at, because we know that it's a journey. And we know that you can't just flip the switch, but you also know that they have a lot of goodness inside. And I find for myself, if I concentrate on that fact, that there is goodness in there, and maybe the person doesn't know it's there, but then I can begin the process of respect for that person. And that person might not even know I respect them, and that person might call me for everything. I have to say I find that a lot on my journey. But in there I know there's a person that's good, and so I can have respect for that person. And never to give up, because that vibration of respect has an effect. It will eventually have some definite effect on the other person, and it's having a stronger and stronger effect on you. So respect is a wonderful thing. because we're all worthy of respect. There's nobody that's not worthy of respect in some way or another, no matter what they're saying to you or doing to you. Does that make sense? That sounds, yeah, there's nobody that isn't worthy of respect. And that's what we're all missing. We're all longing for that respect, and it's just there. It's just like a hair's breadth away.
Another question was about meditation, and you said about having time and using time to look at how I think. So do I need to set an aim for my meditation? Otherwise I just sit there and, as you said, thoughts pour in and out. So what's the difference between just sitting down and letting thoughts pour in and out and meditating?
So first, to make time is good, the fact you've made the time, but to let the thoughts pour in and out, you're just wasting that time. You're not doing anything with it. And we could all just sit there and go, yeah, well, I sat there and I had meditation, but what did you feel from it, and what benefit? Did you see something good in yourself? Did you realise you were a person that had more understanding? Do you realise you were a person that was kind? Did you realise a person that was capable of respecting others? Did you realise that there was peace inside you? So your foundation, actually, energy, is peace. And if we can start with that and start looking at thoughts that are not peaceful, they're disturbed. If they aren't peaceful, they're disturbed. And if I can look at the disturbed thoughts and think I'm not going there anymore, then I'm using my space that I've created. If I've gone that far, I might as well get a benefit. I'm using it in a worthwhile way. Okay?
Okay, so another question is about results, thoughts and results. So sometimes it can seem that I'm doing a lot of investing and not receiving the results that I think I should from the investment. Can you say something about sometimes the distance between the thought and the result?
Okay. You get an instant result from a thought. And if you think you're not getting an investment, there was a lot of selfishness involved in the thought. You think, I'm going to get, I want, I need. It's I'm good, or whatever it is you want, is to have the thought. You get an immediate, a thought is an energy, it goes out, there is an immediate result from the thought.
So I want is not a good thought to have.
No, but I would like to give.
Okay.
Right? We're beings of serving, really. If I want to help someone, first thing I have to do is help myself. If I'm sincerely helping myself in a loving way, but if I'm sort of needily helping myself, I'm actually forcing myself and telling myself what I want, and I have to deliver it or else, because I'm sitting here in meditation and I want a result, and you better give me a result. So I'm trying to be forceful on myself, or forceful towards others. That will give you a result, but it's not going to make you feel that you were successful. So to not be feeling needy, but to feel humble is a good word. To have humility, and I'm sincerity is another good word. I'm sincerely looking to do something that's good, and gratitude's another good word. You will feel an instant result on these things. But remember, it's not physical that you get a big whoosh, like big sparkling lights like Disney. It'd be soft and subtle, and the more you think like that, the bigger and bigger the glow inside will become. And that's what can take time. It's just like if you get a piece of silver and it's all tarnished, you have to polish it. and it doesn't maybe clean the first time. You've got to get a good scrub and different stuff to clean off all the stuff that's on it. Okay. Is there anything else?
And you said something about being miserly. I thought that was an interesting word, not to be miserly with our thoughts and our words and our actions. So when there's this such a need for this feeling of safety and security, how to overcome any of those feelings of lack or less than abundant miserliness. How to allow this feeling of overflowing and abundance to grow.
Yeah, I'm not quite understanding what you mean by this. Obviously, if we've not been used to being generous in our thinking, then in that case we'd always be looking to pay back people who've hurt us. And we will be miserly in it. We won't give praise. We won't see the good. We won't want to help. And we will gossip. We'll be hurtful. We'll be spiteful. We'll look for the lack in them, what we perceive to be the lack in someone else. And so I would say that would be miserly in our thoughts. Because I've seen when sometimes people can be so lovely and good, and other people, all they do is tear them to pieces. They refuse to see the good. And it can come from jealousy. It can come from all sorts of different angles of the darker side of our way of thinking. We can be miserly and want to hurt. So steer away from that as best we can, because again the result of that will come to us. It's not so much the person that you're treating like that, because they might just float through and not feel it too much, but you yourself will feel the disenchantment of that. So keep away from, and if there's some people we can't tolerate too much, but try to, if company is really bad, it's best to keep away from it, because it'll just trigger off bad thoughts and feelings in us. And then you'll find maybe after a wee while that as you become more stable, then you can tolerate that same company, if that makes some sense. Okay, so we'll maybe have a couple of minutes of meditation, just sitting quietly and peacefully and remembering that I am the energy in the centre of the forehead, and this is I, the energy, the life energy. From this energy I think, and my thinking is my seed, and words come when I'm in interaction from my thoughts, which I put into action. So my thoughts, my words, and my deeds, they are mine. They come from me. I am responsible for my thoughts, my words, and my deeds, because I am the energy of life. I am the soul, the being of light. I cannot blame my thoughts, my words, or my actions on anyone else, because they're coming from I, the soul. I am the living life energy, and I am peace. I am love. I'm purest energy, and I'm happiness. Om Shanti.